Okay, we're going to start here at the water service. Looks like they have 1.25" water service. They got union to union pressure regulator, a tee off for the irrigation, hose bib. It does reduce down for the hose bib to 3/4 inch. Let's take a walk over here to the gas service, which is looks like inch and a half. It's a big gas service. I think we'll find out why later, because I'm going to step through here and get my doggy to walk with me. Come on, buddy. Okay, let's hop over here to the water softener. You've got the inlet and outlet for the water softener, and also they tee off and test at the same time the discharge line for the water softener. It's a 1/2 inch copper. You can see that connection's a little flaky on there, but with PEX they're just fine. The 1 inch connection though, here I'm a little bit, that little gap in there, yeah, it's holding water. And then over here we have the water heater area. You can see they're set up for a gas test, and we are at 15 plus pounds. That's the typical gas test. They ran a 3/4 inch here because I'm pretty sure that in the future that's the way they do their water heater loop. It's fine, that gets your hot and cold charged at the same time. The vent, as you can see, 3 inch running straight up through. And then they have, looks like a recirculating line that they can add on later. That probably runs to the furthest fixture away. 3/4 inch inlet and outlet on the water heater. And if we look over here, we can see this is just adjacent to the water heater. Let's go back down and over. That's the T&P line. They got it in low enough so that it'll always be grading. They just stub it out in copper, which I like. It's a bridge connection. Then they switch to PEX, which is just much cheaper and easier to run. And that line has grade all the way down, and saving fittings. Loops out. They do stub it out again and 3/4 inch, and they go ahead and put their 90 and everything on. They wrap that pipe so when the stucco comes through, there's no stucco making contact, no stucco or wire making contact with the copper tubing, because that can cause that dissimilar metals corrosion. And then we're just going to back up, because there's the T&P, and right here we have what looks like a future condensation line, ran in 3/4 inch PVC. It runs back through the wall, going uphill all the way over to the same water heater area. And I think they have given them an option of putting a tankless water heater in here, which would explain the upsized gas line also. Okay, so let's walk around here. Come on, buddy. We have a powder bath. I love the way these guys do this. They take a block, they drill holes. They use those relatively inexpensive PEX 90 plastic turns. They sleeve it with 3/4 inch, keeps it from damaging the pipe, and they just stub PEX out. I'm a big fan of copper stub outs, but if you have to do it like this, it's a really nice way to do it. You notice they have the talons, the PEX strapping every 32 inches or so, and as they penetrate the top plate, they use the fire retardant caulking. Spin this around over here. Let's walk over to the kitchen. First thing we see is the ice maker box, and you see the big loop here. That is part of the system that runs to the kitchen sink. That's a typical ice maker box. It has a water hammer arrestor. You see, they actually call it a shock buster. There's not a big water hammer issue with PEX tubing, but it doesn't hurt to spend an extra few bucks and put in that water hammer arrestor. The insulated line there is the red line. That is going to be the hot line going to the kitchen. And then they have that loop that they can cut in. Let's go over here to the kitchen. It's a loop vent, which they have not looped. So they have a foot vent that goes off. I'm not sure how they're going to get away with this. That should have a loop vent. And we've talked about loop vents. That's where they run the pipe vent up to the top as high as they can get it, and then loop it back down, and then it draws air from another source. This one has the foot vent in, but no loop. I'm not sure how they got away with that. In fact, looking around, I don't even see a vent going up the wall. The gas system that we haven't been able to spend a lot of time on, this is a typical range. They have 3/4 inch coming down. They reduce it with a 3/4 by half 90 and then stub out a little nipple. The eventual size will be 1/2 inch, and by reducing it there, they can eliminate a connection on the outside that actually makes it protrude too far out. See, they've used 2-hole galvanized straps to strap that, very secure. And if we follow it up, you can see how the black pipe just tees off, continues on, and goes back towards the service. Okay, let's make our way over here to the master bath. This house is nearly ready for top out. Before we go to the master bath, we'll step into the laundry. Come on, buddy. That's my buddy Toby. Come on. Don't go that way. Okay. And we don't install these, the sheet metal guy does, but that is a dryer vent box. Really, really nice. Keeps the dryer nice and tucked in. Here's your typical washing machine setup with a minimum 18-inch riser, a clean out. They'll probably cut that down later. And then that box that services the washing machine also has the shock arresters on it, because this is a fast actuating solenoid that shuts the water on and off of the washer. And then it also has that line stubbing down for the water softener drain line. But I can see they don't quite have that 1 inch that they're going to eventually need. Easy to cut later. They're really well strapped, this stuff. Looks really nice. Again, the straps every 32 inches on the PEX tubings. And they insulate all their hot lines here. Let's go over this way, buddy, to this bath here, and then we'll be all done. Good boy. Come on. Okay. Typical. It's going to be awful bright. Typical waistline. Clean out going outside, which is good. You see they've rat packed the bottom with some concrete in a rough kind of way. But those nice stub outs where they drilled the block and stubbed it out. PEX line's all strapped. Same thing over here. Looks like we have a steel tub. It's all ready for test. They filled it up. They have it capped off, waste and overflow. They use PEX tubing for their shower system riser. Saves a little bit of money. They do have to buy an adapter at each end, but overall, that works for them. Works for me. Something I wouldn't do. They have the PEX tubing right up against the roof on that hot side. When the guy comes in to nail off this roof, sometimes those nails just come right on through the sheeting. So you want to be careful. You bring that pipe down like they did over here, a couple inches below the actual roof sheeting, so that the nails don't go shooting through. And there's your typical PEX manifold, teeing off all the hot lines for this and continuing on part of the softener loop. Let's go check out this master real quick, buddy, and then we'll be on our way. Sorry about that. Over here. Stay with me. Good boy. Okay, come on. Okay, they've had the test on here, so it's filled up through the roof, and they're using my favorite drain system because it's very adaptable. See the threads on there? Thread it up and down to adjust to the proper height on the eventual tile floor here. And they're using a pneumatic or air expandable test plug to keep that water down in there because it is pumped up through the roof. Typical shower setup, strapped really well again. Excuse me. And that is one big shower, big walk-in type shower. You see, let's check out this closet flange. No extraneous cutting or anything, and I could tell by the depth that it's at least 12 inches off the wall. Water line stubbed out and well strapped, vented up through with a 2-inch minimum vent. Okay, that's going to do it for Toby and I and the top out inspection. You want to say goodbye to everybody, buddy? You're such a good boy, huh? You take a walk with me. This is Real Plumbing out.